Oh, join me on a walk at the top end of Bicker Fen, around the top of Bicker Fen, under those azure blue skies. It is, I don't like to date stamp these things, but it is Boxing Day, December the 26th, 2025. I had to think of the year then. The years go so quickly. And I just thought I'd come out today. Such a beautiful day. Not been feeling too good over Christmas. Had this lurgy. That's too much social interaction. Not socialising, social interaction. Do different things. So I thought I'd come out for a nice clear the cobwebs type walk today around the top end of Bicker Fen. So we're just walking past the wind farm and looking over to where they're building a new substation just behind those trees over there. And I didn't realise just how, I haven't been up here for a little while because of the weather, and just realised how big it is, and how much of a blot on the gorgeous landscape it's going to be. But I made a decision not to make this video about the overdevelopment of renewable infrastructure on the Fen. I think it's a well documented argument, shall we say, and you know, it is what it is. We are going to continue to fight it. The windmills, you know, they are occasionally described as majestic, and I do think possibly you know, that is something that we can live with, but the rest of the infrastructure, the connection to the grid, that just attracts a lot of development. And you are going to see, although this is the last I'll talk about it, you are going to see an awful lot of solar panels on this trip. So looking at the windmills today, yeah, you can see that's quite reasonably rare. That's an easterly wind, or an easterly breeze. It's not really windy, blowing, and obviously the windmills are usually facing the other way, so it's quite rare to see them in that plane. It's always good. I can look out my window in the morning and I can see which way the wind's blowing, so yeah, the windmills are good for something at least. So I've negotiated a rather difficult patch walking up Vicarage Drove, towards the end of Vicarage Drove, where on my left is the solar farm. They call them farms. I don't like the word farm. Farms used to grow things on. The solar development on the left. You can go right round Vicarage Drove there. You go around the top end of the Fen, and you can either come out on the A17 or back down into the village. Quite a rough road, typical Fen road, with a rather large puddle that I had to negotiate. Well, that's all behind me now, as you can see. It's all behind me. So I'm walking onwards towards the South 40-foot drain, or the Black Sluice drain as it's officially known as, and I'm going to make a decision as to whether to turn right or left when I get up here. So you'd be forgiven for thinking that road straight ahead of us now looks nice and inviting, and you could indeed walk all the way up there, but we've got in our way, we've got the South 40-foot drain, or Black Sluice as it's known, and this is man-made, hand dug, back in, well, it started there. There's evidence that the first drain from Boston down to meet the River Welland at Surfleet was constructed in the 1600s, but this section here was widened to what is now 40 foot, so 40 foot from one bank to the other, and that was widened in the 1800s. It is navigable, I'm told. It is navigable. Let's try saying that, you know, teeth in. I've never really seen a boat down here, but I have seen videos on YouTube with people bringing canal boats and the like down here. You can get through the lock at Boston, and apparently you can get down as far as Donington Bridge, which is about 2 miles in the distance down on the left hand side there. So there we are. Let's continue now in this westerly direction, see how far we can get. So I've come to this interesting little junction here, and this is where another drain joins in from the fen on the other side of the 40-foot. Little secret, I've actually never been any further than this in a westerly direction, so that's where I'm heading now. Not quite sure why that exists. It looks like at some point that could have been used as a platform or a stage to, what's the word I'm trying to look for here, where you get boats onto water, a landing place. And I think, if I remember rightly, watching a video on YouTube, when the people came down in a narrowboat, that's where they turned the boat round there before they got to Donington Bridge. So I'm looking to carry on in that westward direction. I'm not quite sure. I know that I can get down to the left shortly, I hope, and as I say, head towards the village of Norththorpe. There is the train line in the distance, but I don't aim to get that far, or if not, I'm going to be heading all the way to Donington Bridge. I might be able to get out here. I'm going to have a look. I'm pressing on into uncharted territory to the west of that junction you saw there, with the drain coming in from the north. And yeah, I've never actually got this far before. So that, let me just see if I can spin the camera around. That in the distance there, that is the I believe they call that the Viking link converter. That's the where power comes from the wind turbines in the North Sea, and Anderton Creek, just north of Skegness, makes landfall and then comes all the way to this place here, where it is converted into what I'm going to say. I'm going to say direct current. I get my AC and my DC mixed up. I should know, shouldn't I? But I do get that mixed up sometimes. So yeah, converts it basically into usable power for the grid. Now, I'm pretty certain that there is a drove road to my left, and if I can get access to it, I can get round the back of that and head in that direction over there, where I'm pointing, to come around the back of Norththorpe and into Donington and along the main road back towards the village. But uncharted territory, I've never been this far, so let's see where we go. So I think I can get down there. Let me just flip the camera around. I think I can get down and along that drove past the Viking link and then into Norththorpe that way. I'm pretty sure I can get down there. I should give it a go. I've not flown the drone from here before. It is a little breezy today, as you can probably see by the mills. I will try to get it up, see how high I can get it. I don't think I'll be able to get it too high today because of the wind. There is no electricity infrastructure around the bit I'm stood at now, so nice and safe to fly, but as I say, a little windy, so I've got to be a touch careful with that. So there we go then. I'm going to go down there after I've had a go with the drone. So yeah, that worked out. I'm now on Ing Drove, I-N-G, Ing, I think that's how you pronounce it. I've never been this side before, so just for a point of reference, so right in front of us there is the Viking Link converter, and I'm on the western side of the wind farm, which I've never been this side before, unbelievably. Well, I have, but not from this direction, from the direction of the village of Northorpe, which is directly in front of me now. So beautiful day still, although to be fair, the wind has picked up since I come out. It's a little chilly. I did get the drone up there. Hopefully I'll have put some shots in. I might try to get it up again in a bit. It is very windy. I did manage to get up to about 60 metres before we got the wind warning. There's a couple of swans. I don't know if you can see them in the field over there. I don't know what they're doing. They've been there for ages. I've just had a cup of tea up on the bank, and they've been there for ages. Flew the drone. You might see them on the drone footage.
Quickly jump into the map, then hopefully you can see the cursor. So where are we? We're in Lincolnshire. We're in southeast Lincolnshire. We're about 9 miles south west of Boston. So we began filming around about here as we're walking up to Bicker Fen. This area is known as Bicker Fen, Fen because it was formerly a marsh land, which was drained by a series of drains from the 16th century onwards. So we walked up past the wind farm, which is now, all this area here is now covered by the solar farm. Much of this area is now covered by solar panels. So we got up to the top of the drove and we turned left. This is the 40-foot bank, the 40-foot drain that we walked along. We walked all the way along here. We got to this point here. This is where I flew the drone from. And then we jumped down onto this drove road here, past the Viking Link converter there, which we're just about to walk past in a second. And then down into the village of Northorpe and then back out onto the A52.
That's where I've come from. Blocked off, strangely. I don't think many people get up here. Why that would be blocked off, I don't know. It doesn't really go anywhere. There is a farm back there, but I'm sure they've got another access to it, so I'm not quite sure why that's blocked off. But nevertheless, I hope I can get out the other end. Otherwise, it's a long way back. So yeah, this is Ing Drove. It looks like I can get up onto Northorpe Road. Looking in front of me, Donington Church in the distance tells me that I'm going in the right direction, as well as the sun, of course. And this rather lovely deep drainage ditch to my right with the Viking Link converter, which I've never seen from this angle. Never seen from this angle, so I don't understand what goes on in there at all. Something to do with converting all this renewable energy into something that can be fed into the grid. I don't think it's anybody actually works there, so this wasn't a video about the influx, shall we say, of renewable energy on the fen, but one of the things that always bugs me when you hear politicians and the like talking about the jobs that the green sector will create. Well, look, those big buildings there, I don't think anybody works there. Monitored remotely, but nobody actually works there. So I'm not quite sure where all the green jobs actually come from. Probably they're referring, cynically, I would say, they're referring to the jobs that are created where these things are manufactured, which is of course not in the UK. So not quite sure what benefit we're getting from that. Yeah, so the cynic in me also suggests perhaps that with the fencing off of large parts of the fen to contain the solar panels, it does mean, I think, that people can use that maybe as an excuse to cut off some of the old drove roads and fen roads. I'm never 100% certain whether a drove is publicly accessible. Oh, it is, because it's it's publicly accessible. It may well be private land, but it is publicly accessible. But never quite sure whether we should be walking around them. Not especially now with so much fencing off going on. So I'm not quite. Again, the cynic in me would suggest that perhaps some people might be glad of the solar fencing and cameras, security, as a way of keeping people off the land. I hope not, but that's nevertheless, it has to be considered. So I'm going to flip you. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. So yeah, this drove crosses the beck there, or beck drainage ditch there, and then you can see the blocked off pathway, which is strange. Anyway, I shall ignore that for now and walk down here. I hope this is not a farm track. If it is, I will do some apologising to the farmers. I don't think it's a farmhouse. There's a building up there, but I don't think it's a farmhouse. But I believe this takes me through to Northorpe. Oh dear, there's my lady in my pocket who is telling me how far I've walked so far. Oh, I don't know what that is. Well, we're probably about 6-7 kilometres into the walk to now at the moment. Hopefully heading on a homeward footing very shortly. You see the solar panels continue on that field there, covering a massive area of this part of the Lincolnshire Fens. So there we are. We're going to see more of them in a second. That's probably the closest point we've got to the solar panels. And you can see them there, little row by row by row by row. Obviously covered in fencing. I'm told there's supposed to be gaps in the fencing at the bottom to let the hares and the muntjac through, but I haven't seen any. And I haven't seen any hares or muntjacs, which you used to get all the time up here. Stop moaning, Mike, stop moaning about solar and renewable energy. But yeah, once upon a time, hares, I mean, probably a different time of the day, probably even a different time of the year, but nothing about now. I don't know what they're going to do in that lot. What they're going to do, eat the grass that's not going to grow underneath the solar panels. But top scientists have told us that they create their own little ecosystems, and they're going to be perfectly viable for the local animal and bird. We come down towards some semblance of civilization, back towards the village, but just an odd scattering of fir trees there, I guess, which is a bit random. I could go left here and down that lane there towards those buildings, but this time of the year that might be a little bit challenging by the side of the Hammond Beck to get me back onto Cowbridge Road, where we kind of started this walk from. But it is a little challenging down there, a little bit muddy this time of year, and if I remember rightly, there's a particularly unpleasant dog that lives in that little section of buildings there. So we won't go that way. We will continue forward and hopefully pick up the road into Northorpe. just come into Northorpe then, so back into civilization. The wind has got, I'm glad to get in between the buildings now, because the wind has got up somewhat, and it is quite chilly in the wind, but beautiful day still, sun's still shining. And as we walk back towards the A52, still got a little way to get home, but the walk is almost coming to an end. It's been a beautiful walk. Tried to get the drone back up again a bit further down, but unfortunately the wind was just too strong. It wouldn't. It wasn't safe to fly. So yeah, didn't get that up again, but never mind. Still hopefully got some nice shots, and it's still been a really nice walk out onto part of the fen that I've not seen before. So very, very good from that point of view. So join me again in a minute when I'm back out onto the main road. Okay, so we come up on Days Lane, top of Days Lane. So I think we'll end the day there. Get what I did there. We'll end the day there, and then, or end the walk there. We've got a little way to go back to get home, but that's 10 kilometres. I've just checked on my my walking app, and that's just over 10 kilometres. So what's that in old money? That's what, 6-7 miles, something like that. That's not bad. It's took me quite a long while to get round. Obviously I've been filming and droning and had a cup of tea and a banana, but yeah, so thank you very much indeed for joining me, and what a beautiful walk, and I'll see you on the next one.